on Curiosity Stream. He allows them their riches.
Putin has to be the richest of the rich.
In exchange for their loyalty.
The oligarchs have supported someone for president that they underestimate.
The illicit affair between Russia's elite and the man who rules them on Putin and the oligarchs. And World War II Normandy. An obscure battle training session takes a tragic turn. Uncover the one secret military catastrophe on the secret D-Day disaster. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3,599. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are the Men's Room. Today, Ryan Castle joins us to ring in the new year from his basement studio dungeon bar. Once again, we will sit and spin. And today we go back in time for the top 10 songs from 2021. So long ago. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, the Men's Room Shout of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Clack. All right, here we go. Mom pours a kid a bowl of cereal and realizes there is a bag of methamphetamine inside. Cool. Meanwhile, in Kentucky, Santa busted for DUI and Elf arrested for assault, and the children cried. Town in Peru gets a new statue of man with a huge penis between his legs. In Cyprus, thieves topple a huge penis statue, but leave its eggs. And a Long John Silver employee, who was pregnant, was kicked in the stomach. Jeez. Over a hush puppy. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, let's face it. It's a new year, and with every new year, there's a new attitude, a new hope, new resolutions, hell, a new you. This is that time of the year when everyone reflects on what they'd like to do, or maybe they reflect on what they'd like to not do anymore. Now, a lot of people, every year, they want to lose weight. We hear it all the time. Well, look, in China, McDonald's has come up with a way to help. Now, sure, you can still order 3 Big Macs, 20-piece McNugget, and a large fry, but the fast food giant has your back. You see, the McDonald's there, they have now replaced their regular table seats with stationary bikes. That's right, you can burn the calories while you eat. And if you're really desperate to enjoy all those unhealthy foods that you relish, a Japanese professor has created a prototype lickable TV screen. That's right, a lickable TV screen. Now, the idea is that you can experience the taste of all the food you enjoy just by looking at them, but without the calories or your dignity. Now, on the other end of the spectrum are those things that we figured out, you know what, they're just not for us anymore, man. Take NFL wide receiver and recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award for dumbassery, Antonio Brown. Now, Brown essentially quit walking off the field during the third quarter of a game, but not before, of course, getting top half naked, because that's the kind of thing that Antonio Brown does. He decided in that moment he was just done with football. And to be honest with you, much of a moron as he is, it's kind of a shame because he is athletically gifted. He's as athletically gifted as he is stupid, and not everyone is a natural athlete. Take the 28-year-old man in New York City. He attempted to hop a subway turnstile. To give you an idea, I looked this up. If you order one, they're about 38 inches tall. Okay? He decided to hop one, but he landed on his head, broke his neck, and he died. All because he didn't want to pay the subway fare. And then sometimes there's personal things in your life. Relationships, maybe they run the course. I mean, this is a bad time for divorce. I mean, after all, it was the holidays, but poor Ghislaine Maxwell. You know, Ghislaine Maxwell. While she was incarcerated, she got a call from her husband, and he said, babe, it ain't working out. I'm going to move on. That's right. He filed for divorce. But before you think it's because she's a convicted child sex trafficker, that's not actually why. He divorced her and started banging the yoga teacher while she was in jail. Either way.
Down dog.
He decided, down doggy style, yes. He decided it was time to move on. But look, sometimes you have to face those things. It could be a relationship. It could be the food you eat. Maybe it's time to exercise. We don't know. We don't even care. And it's less important to us what it is you've decided to give up or to start doing. But it's more about that moment that made you realize that you need to start or stop doing something. So today, Men's Room fill in the blank style, basically finish this sentence. And that's when I realized blank was not for me anymore.
Be part of the Big Show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
New on Curiosity Stream.
From time to time, we have collisions between asteroids and the Earth.
We track them. We study them. We hope the big one never comes. Don't look up. It's Asteroid Rush. And alligators. They rarely get sick. They even outlasted the dinosaurs. Could they hold the secret to human longevity?
Their blood could have antibacterial applications.
Wade into the investigation on immortal alligators. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All the fellas, and away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3,599. Here we are. What a large and charged program we have for you today. Woo! Guaranteed future repeat. I know what you're thinking. These guys probably need some hard-earned time off. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So we do the best shows we can so that when we're gone, we can replay this fine program for you, and you'll think that we're still here. You know, that's how we do it. You'll have no idea. Can't tell by anything we say that's completely dated. But either way, a large and a charged program for you today, and the first show of a brand new year for us. Ryan Castle will join us from his basement studio, Dungeon Bar. And once again, we're going to sit and spin today. We're going to go back in time to 2021. The list is the top 10 songs from 2021 in the terms of what Rolling Stone magazine believes to be the top song. So not necessarily Billboard in sales.
Right, Rolling Stone.
Rolling Stone says these are the best 10 songs of the year in our humble opinion. Not exactly any kind of mathematics behind it.
Even if it were Billboard, I don't think I would know. I really don't, man.
You know, I mean, with songs that are popular, you just hear them more often. Casually, maybe. You're in the grocery store, whatever. You're at the gym. You might have heard these songs. But these are not what Rolling Stone deems as the top 10 songs of the year. They've got a much more artistic approach, I guess, to their
in quotation
formula.
marks. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what's coming up as we'll sit and spin. Top 10 songs from 2021. Get back into the men's room happy hour today, episode number 91. Give some props from the weeks there that we were gone, and also the return of the effing news.
Yes,
for the first time this year. So that's very exciting. We got the men's room happy hour back for you as well. And today in our question, and that's when I realized blank was not for me anymore. And I think that a lot of people make a New Year's resolution.
They do.
And that's basically something where you say, look, maybe I could change this, or maybe, this is not the best habit for me in the world, or I don't know, maybe my goal is to do something completely different. I think in this instance, it's more not exactly the date, it's the situation at the time, no matter when it happens, that makes you realize
it is the situation
that I'm not doing this anymore.
But inevitably, we all choose, roughly speaking, this date, right? People, I'm going to lose weight. Well, if that's true, and like you legitimately need to versus you'd like to, that's probably been true for years. But you decide, we go, all right, I will start January, honestly do it January 2nd, January for a throwaway day. But they go, I'm going to start today, but you've known for a while. People that do the dry January.
Sure.
It's not like on December 31st, suddenly you drink more than you normally drink, but you have targeted this day specifically.
Sometimes there's an instance just during the year where you go, ooh,
yes,
I need to cut back for a little bit here. And it's not January 1st. I mean, it's whatever.
Right. Gotta do it right now.
You do whatever it is you did. And just like situationally in life, you do things where you realize, look, I'm never going to do that again. Every once in a while, we'll have the opportunity to go down to Vegas either for when they were doing radio conventions or whatever the hell they were doing. Sometimes it was just a band that you wanted to see, or maybe you want to take some days. And I remember probably, 8-9 years ago, I ended up going down to Las Vegas. It was kind of close to the same time of year. Now, I think my initial plan was to go down for 3 days total, right? For the most part. So 2.5 full days, essentially, okay? I got caught up in another...
Is that an oxymoron?
I got caught up in a winter storm here. All right?
2.5 full days?
Well, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Well, the flight's only a few hours, so you can have a half day and still have a lot of fun. But I got caught up in a storm in Seattle. It was an ice storm. So what I did realize was that on New Year's Day itself, Las Vegas is done.
Oh, yeah.
They are shut down for the entire month of basically January. Yes, there are your occasional Penn and Teller shows. Even they take the beginning of the year off. Every single staple that you normally know to be associated is the comedians have gone home. Everybody has gone home. The town is a ghost town. But either way, you can still gamble, you can still eat, you can still drink. So day 5 approaches, and I just say to myself, and this is trying to get, I'm never, ever going to put myself in a situation where it's longer than 3 days in Las Vegas, because I feel like ass. I mean, look, I'm smoking more cigarettes than I normally do because I'm inside a casino.
Sure.
I'm gambling, which I normally don't do, so I'm just throwing money away.
Well, you treat Vegas like Vegas, and you will treat Vegas like Vegas for as long as you're in Vegas. And you're right, to my opinion, 2.5 days is right. 3, I'm at the tail end of it, but we had a coworker a couple of years ago said he's going to go to Vegas, and he's going to go with his girlfriend. They're spending a week. And as soon as he said I'm spending a week, I said, dude, you're going to regret that. He's like, nah, man, it'll be fine. I said, no, this has nothing to do with your girlfriend. Right. I'm saying you are going to Las Vegas for 1 week. Whatever. Time passes. He comes back. How was Vegas? And he said, dude, you're right. By day 4, it's like,
you're ready to go.
We need to go home. Yeah, my hands are shaking. Yeah. I'm not eating as much as I know I should be eating. I can't bring myself to do it because anything I eat, I'm going to puke because I've been doing drugs. I've been drinking so much. So no, I get it. Mm-hmm. It's a great time. But like, dude, seriously, after 3 days.
But you can rage all day and, and maybe say, look, it's 7 o'clock. I'm going to go take a nap upstairs for a little bit. You know what I mean? Just kind of chill out for a minute. You wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You're like, well, I guess I'll just go downstairs and get a beer and hit the slot machine. And
it's open, man.
3 o'clock in the morning, you're down in the lobby.
That's the difference with Vegas. Like most people, right? Like I love tailgating football games.
Yeah.
But if you tailgate most of the day or whatever, you get home on a Saturday evening and you're done by 7 or 8, well, you're done till Sunday. But you're right, Vegas is completely different. You're just taking a nap. You're going to get up.
Second win.
Right, you're going to do it all again.
Who was it, Mike? I believe it was Mike, right? And you go a little less crazy than the rest of us. Does not mean you don't go crazy.
Correct.
But you go less crazy. And I want to say, you crashed early, woke up at like 2:30 in the morning, and then you took some long-ass walk down the strip and all this stuff. Like, what?
Exactly. Yeah, we landed the first day at midnight, and so I stayed up as late as I could, and then I went back to sleep. We had the day. I was bushed by 7:30. I felt stupid, but I went to bed, knocked out. Ted rallied as I was going to bed, I woke up at 2:30 in the morning. I was about to roll over and try to tough out the rest of it, but I was like, I'm in Vegas. Everything's open now. So I just went downstairs. Yeah, went up and down the strip. It was great.
So I went to get something to eat or something, right? Because we were just chilling in the room. I came back. I was like, there's a lot of attractive people here, Mike. Like, I'm going back down to the damn bar. Right? And like, I don't think anybody I knew was there. I was just like, sorry, Mike. And then he ends up getting up.
But that's the thing about Vegas. You don't necessarily have to have company.
Yeah.
No. You know, I mean, it's one of the few places you're like, nah, dude, I'm cool. What I go crash? I'm going to hang out in the casino. I'm going to talk to somebody.
But I would say on the same token, I recommend this to everybody. Don't go to Bourbon Street before like 3 in the afternoon.
Don't. You're wasting your time.
Disgusting. It smells like crap. They're like rinsing it off with hoses. Like, I mean, we ended up having fun, but like at first I was like, I'm never coming here. I don't get why people do. Then in the afternoon, the bar, were drunk. You're right, you start drinking. Yeah. Right. You're like, all right, but yeah.
Find Bourbon Street at like 8 in the morning. And this is the honest to God truth, right? So the last time I went to New Orleans with the wife, and we're going to get up and we're going to see different sights and everything. So we're cutting through the French Quarter early, and between 8 and 8:30, and Bourbon Street's dead, but there are, like you said, probably 20 guys outside with power hoses and like actual foamy suds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you just smell piss and puke, and you can see this brown water with chunks in it that kind of drain. And keep in mind, they don't have like a great drainage system there. So it just pools. They kind of hope they'll suck up as much as they can. And I'm like, right, that is everything that happened on Bourbon Street. Every morning they go out there and they hose it off the walls, off the doorways. It's over park benches. I mean, it is.
Well, the one thing
a nightmare.
Well, one thing about Bourbon Street in New Orleans is you can walk into any bar, and you're probably going to find live music at 50% of those locations.
Guaranteed.
So at least half the time, no cover. You just walk in. I mean, they'll have a big name act at certain venues, but you can just walk down the road and pop into a bar. At Vegas, you're going to pay $125 a ticket to go see a show. And I determined at one point in time, like, I'm never going to this Circus Soleil crap ever again. Mm-hmm. It was just, it's like, it's the same thing with a different theme. I think the last time I saw it was like the Beatles Love Experience, where they played Beatles music and, former Russian Olympians drop from the sky. That's basically what it doing acrobatics.
Look, I will say this. If you have to see Cirque du Soleil,
everybody looks good.
Do it in Vegas. We did it. We're on the cruise ship, all right?
I say no.
And one of I'd never seen it. I'm like, I'm going to sit down, eat this dinner. You're trapped on the ship anyway, right? At this point, we're out at sea and nothing you can do. So I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. And the costumes were impressive. A lot of the things they were doing was super impressive. There was this really hot chick that was juggling 3 soccer balls with her feet. Never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
But then you realize because you're trapped on the ship, and I begin to understand the walls are closing in, and at some point you're not so much like part of the show, but they will perform the show much like the mariachi band playing at your dinner table. And these kinds of things really irritate me. This is like putting a cowboy hat on my head and singing happy birthday. And I realized at this point, I want to tell these performers, and they're doing a bang-up job, but honestly, I just want to eat. And I want to drink, man. Okay, I don't want you so close to me. I don't want your spooky long fingers touching my food because you think it's entertaining. And I'm like, man, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm about to be that guy. Like, you need to back the F off.
But between all that, here's what I've come to the conclusion of, that I cannot stand it. You go to dinner, all right? You sit down, it's dinner, you're going to focus on dinner. I have been to so many of these dumbass things that are like, I don't know, dinner things going on around you. So on the East Coast, they had this thing called, it was like a Renaissance, I can't even remember what the hell the name of this dinner theater It was like Knights of the Round
it's like
Table.
The cable guy thing, right?
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like you get it's at Rundle Mills. You get like the turkey leg and all that crap if you want it.
Oh, yeah, Blue Night, Red Night.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever.
Medieval times.
Medieval times.
Okay. Yes. I just need the food, man. Like,
right.
I don't need to see this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to eat. It was like the luau in Hawaii when I went on my honeymoon. Okay, now granted, I mean, I went to a traditional one at the Sheraton.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's just like, I just want to eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my thing. At dinner, I just
want to eat. And then I'll go see a movie with you or whatever.
Medieval times, though, like, nobody goes there for food.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Their whole shtick is come for the medieval times.
Right.
It's like Chuck E. Cheese.
But that's what
You're not there for the food.
Look, I can go walk into a rainforest cafe, get dinner, you know what I mean, and a grill will pop out of the wall. I mean, that's fine. I don't care. But I'm not there.
Oh, I like it when the storms show up.
But I'm not there.
I did not know they did that.
Yes, they do.
And I discovered that, and I had the goddamn gorilla behind. I did not know that Rainforest Cafe, everything was animatronic. I knew there were some animatronics, but I thought all the animatronics were restaurant central, if you know what I mean. I did not realize that also the things around me on the wall, including the gorilla, which had been fine for about 20 minutes into this meal, I didn't know that when the storm hit, as it were, that it would start beating its chest. And it may have not, well, it didn't, but I may have knocked over my beer, let's say. I had no idea that this was going to happen. And this giant goddamn ape starts beating its chest and it makes a noise, right? If I had known that was going to happen, maybe I'd be like, all right, that's kind of cool. I didn't know. So it freaked me the hell out. Dropped my beer, ruined my food. Just like, God damn it.
I don't mind the entertainment if I can pick the entertainment and it's not on their schedule.
Right.
It's like Dave & Buster's, whatever. Like, if I want to go play, like, I don't know, Big Buck Hunter or something like that on my time after I'm done eating and drinking, well, let's go shoot a game of pool, whatever, that's fine. But I have to sit there and, watch it travel, spin fire and spit blood and all that stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't
think they have a lot of blood spitting in restaurants.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's like a murder mystery dinner or something where I got to sit there and realize, like, what jamoke at the table beside me killed somebody? Like, no. I just want the steak, man. I just want to eat. That's why I always get pissed off when I'm in a bar, like, just hanging out, and all of a sudden I realized that guy's setting up trivia in the corner, isn't he? Oh, God. Because you know what? I can't just, you know what I mean? It's just
we can't talk at a normal
volume. You know what I mean? Put your phone down. Round 2 again on these questions. You're just like, oh, my God, you're killing me. You're killing me in here. So anything that involves anything more than me just eating my food when I go someplace.
And watching sports.
Watching sports is great. I can pick and choose what kind of sporting event I want to watch.
I mean, look, I'm with you. I'm not a big fan of dinner theater or any of that, but for some reason I have it's like, we should totally go to a bar and eat while we watch something on their TV.
Yeah, they're on TV.
Right.
Which is almost a weird thing, too.
I mean, if I'm at home, I'm going to eat and watch probably television.
Well, sure. But, yeah, I guess it's sports.
I'm not going to have somebody in my living room, like, spinning fire, you know what I mean, in a grass skirt.
Yeah. I'm trying to, like, medieval times I'd go to just because it seems just cheesy and stupid.
If I have my kids, that's always my thing. Like, are the kids going to be with us? Because the answer is no. No, I'm not going to that.
I'd go with Mike.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, if it involves, I just want to eat dinner. Well, I've been to Teatro Zinzani's and Danny, the thing in
I have not gone. Right.
Actually, that was one of the best one of those I've ever been to. The food is fantastic, by the way, if you ever go.
Is it still open?
I think they moved it over to, like, near Marymore or someplace else over on the other side. But either way, that was a very cool experience. They changed the show. There was a different singer there who was singing, like, R&B and soul and stuff. So I was like, all right, this is tolerable. Like, no one's spinning from the ceiling.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is just the whole show being put on, But other than that, no, I don't want to get trapped someplace. I've done this before, like where I've gotten on a boat and gone someplace to watch, like, some kind of, like, I don't know,
the booze cruise or whatever.
Right, exactly. But then you end up in some, like, forest or something, and then everything's like, then they do this show, and it's like, indigenous to the area, and, like, look, I wouldn't go home and watch that. Right. And where I'm from, I don't want to watch that. You know what I mean? Like, no. I think it's like, no. I'm not learning anything on this. I just want to eat, man. You know what I mean? And then you're trapped. And then you can't do anything about it because they serve everybody at the same time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then the dessert comes out, and you can't just get up and walk out because
you just got to swim.
Well,
I don't have a problem walking out on the show, and I know this. Like, if I'm stuck on a boat, I am stuck on the boat. I'm going to be miserable. But if I'm at a landlocked place, like if I'm truly not enjoying this experience, and look, I know I'm that guy, and they say you're awful. Maybe I am, but I'm going to get up and leave anyway.
Right.
Really. Honest to God. Like, if it's like, dude, I can't do this. I'll meet you outside, or I'm going to go choke down cigarettes. But, like, when it's done, I will come back in. But I can't sit through that stuff.
No. I mean, hell, even if it's a 3-hour movie at the theater, I'll wait for that baby boy to come on home with me so I can pause it and stop it. And I might have to watch this thing in 2 nights. I don't know.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just too long for the theater. I'll watch it at home. I'll do it in parts. And then, of course, like anything else, if it was in my house and it was on my television, I'd watch the whole thing, no problem. It wouldn't be a big deal. It'd be like watching 6 episodes of a show or something. I would do it, but the idea of going to a theater where I can't step outside and smoke, you know what I mean, can't do whatever I want, like, it's like, now I feel like I'm trapped there.
I went to the theater once during the break to see whatever the latest goddamn Spider-Man movie.
How was it?
It's fine, man. I mean, it's mindless. It's fun. It is what it is, but I go because the kids want to see it. That's fine. We had to go to a certain theater. They can recline in the chairs. So my son's like, hey,
nice.
Mom, I got to take a leak. I'm like, of course you got to take a leak. God damn it. So I get up, take him to the bathroom. He goes to the bathroom, come back. Good news, hadn't missed anything. Right after I sit down, my daughter's like, Daddy, I have to go to the bathroom. So I even tell her, and I'm trying to do it in that AM radio sounding voice where you want to yell at your kid, but there's people around, should you sound like this? I'm like, why didn't you just tell me when I took the brother to the bathroom? Well, I didn't know. All right. So I get up, I take her to the bathroom. So now I miss about 10 goddamn minutes of the movie, but when I come back with her, I realize as I'm looking at the screen, I have missed a very pivotal part of the movie. I don't want to do any spoilers, but like if you're going to see the movie, this particular thing that happened in the movie
was very relevant, I guess.
It's relevant, but it'd be kind of worth the price of admission, right? And I come back and it has already happened. She doesn't care. I cared.
Well,
and
look,
then
you're not going to ruin it. He got bit by a spider.
Yeah. And that's what I would be like missing that if you didn't know that's how we became like, wait, why is he doing this?
And that's when I realized that blank was not for me anymore. 206-421-ROCK.
New on Curiosity Stream, he allows them their riches
Putin has to be the richest of the rich.
in exchange for their loyalty.
The oligarchs have supported someone for president that they underestimate.
The illicit affair between Russia's elite and the man who rules them on Putin and the oligarchs. And World War II Normandy. An obscure battle training session takes a tragic turn. Uncover the one secret military catastrophe on the secret D-Day disaster. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
99.9 KISW. The men's room is in progress.
Quick question, and that's when I realized that blank was not for me anymore. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Sophia. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, guys.
Hola.
So mine is kind of a double whammy. I once upon a time in my early 20s when I was young and partied all the time, I had a drinking problem, so to speak, and I had a cocaine addiction. My best friend, her birthday is actually 2 days after mine, which is actually on Friday and Sunday this week. But I think it was my 25th and her 27th birthday. We decided to go out of town. We got a cabin in the woods with a bunch of our friends, and then we realized that wasn't where we wanted to be, so we came back into town, got a hotel room, and then the night got very interesting. We proceeded to put down about 200 Jell-O shots between the six of us before we even got to the club we were going to. And then we proceeded to do between the six of us an 8-ball of Coke in one night.
Oh, I mean, I heard that's probably doable.
Between six people, yeah.
Well, I mean, it wasn't. Well, we picked up more at the club because we knew a guy there.
Okay.
At a club? Yeah. Get out of here.
You need more cocaine? What is this drug you speak of?
I know, right? But it wasn't actually good because I was in medical school at the time because, that's just where I ended up in was the medical field. But it was what ended up happening by the end of the night. My now ex-husband joined us for the festivities with his buddies. And because he was trying to hook up my best friend with one of his friends, but she didn't want anything to do with him. But it's what we did afterwards that really kind of pissed him off, and why I kind of like put two and two together. Okay, maybe I'm having a little too much fun in my life. Maybe I need to like cut back, because after we left the club, we decided we wanted to go have breakfast, and we wanted to go to Sherry's, which is where we always went when we partied near the house where we lived.
Wait, you partied all night and went to a Sherry's again?
Whoa.
Shocked.
Whoa. This whole thing makes no sense.
I know. In my early 20s,
Jello
go figure,
shots.
while I was in college.
Went to a club and got more cocaine, and then went to Sherry's
for pie.
I will be damned.
Well, honey, it's what we did at the Sherry's that really pissed everybody off, and why I kind of feel like I had one of them, I guess, for lack of a better term, come to Jesus meetings.
All right.
Apparently, we started stripping in the Sherry's and all got arrested.
Oh. What do you mean you apparently did this?
Well, we were so messed up. I mean, we've been drinking all night, tequila, vodka. I think we even had some moonshine that my grandpa made.
I heard that drinks really go down easy when you're on cocaine. That's the rumor on the
That
street.
is what I've heard.
Yeah, me too.
In fact, I've heard it's hard to do one without the other.
Right. Or cigarettes.
Well, let me put it this way, guys. If you do enough coke, you can pick up a half gallon with a straw and have it down in about 30 minutes by yourself.
I have not heard that before.
Yeah. That's a bummer.
Look, I had a lot of fun in my early 20s.
So was that
we got arrested.
Was that when you were in the jail cell? Is that when you said, "Hey, maybe no more of this"?
Well, it wasn't really until the next day after my ex-husband bailed us all out that we realized. That I personally realized, maybe this isn't the best way to go, because I mean, in my career now, I do tend to work with children. I'm actually that nurse practitioner that saved that guy. That's who I am, guys.
Yeah.
All right, but let me ask you this. So was it only the girls at the Sherry's who started stripping? Or were the dudes stripping too?
No, it was just the six of us.
Who's the one who you think got you arrested? I'm going to tell you right now, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I don't care how it sounds. If I'm at a Sherry's, especially at that time of day, and six hot chicks start stripping, I'm not calling 911. It's not happening.
I guess that's the other question. What time of day were you at the Sherry's?
We got there, I want to say at like 3:30 in the morning from what I was told.
Okay. Right.
Yeah,
I really don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just picturing
really
you guys
don't.
doing this at 8 or 9 a.m.
Yeah, then I understand. The kids are there and all that.
What was interesting was the GM. He was actually, apparently we made like $400 because he kept flipping us 20s while we were dancing on the tables.
Okay, so he didn't call the cops.
No, he did not. Not even. In fact, the only other staff that were there were men. So no, they didn't call the cops. It was actually my ex-husband who called the cops.
Oh, that's an interesting twist.
Why, when you talked to him about this, why did he say he called the cops on you and your friend stripping at Sherry's?
Because he said it was the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to him, and we weren't apparently two of my girlfriends started wanting to film a movie on one of the tables. I mean, it just got completely out of control and extra. I mean, you would have thought we were in like a porno theater or something. I mean, from what I was told,
it's called lightning in a bottle, Sophia. That's what you need to explain. So I'm like, right, this doesn't happen. So when it happens, let it happen. I've had one experience like that. I'll go to the whole story. It was a work-related event, if you will. And it was a bikini contest or something like this at this bar. And there's nothing I did. I don't know what happened. But, I mean, all at once, at the end of this bikini contest, all these chicks started stripping naked and making out in the middle of the floor. There were two sales guys with me there. And one of these sales guys goes, you have to make this stop. And I said, I don't have to do a goddamn thing because officially I'm off the clock. This is now happening. The other sales guy said, sweet. And everyone... And it was a glorious night. Everyone remembered. It's fantastic. I had nothing to do with it, but like, it's not worth calling the cops. Like, this is a decision to make. Now, granted, filming a porn at a Sherry's at 3 a.m, probably not the best.
It might be one of those. He's worried his girlfriend. They're already taking tips. What are they going to do with it? Like, how much money does it take before she's gone forever?
I think we ended up making like $1,000 that night because even his friends were throwing money at my girlfriends and I. So
I'd be doing the same thing.
Well, I mean, like, look, that's on him. He probably should have just left. I mean, look, this is not a calling the cops
there's a reason
offense.
He's my ex-husband, okay? Let's just put it that way.
All right.
So, did you decide to stop drinking, stop doing coke, stop doing both? What?
Stop doing him.
Stop doing both because I had 1 year of school left, and then I realized, maybe if I get arrested for like this again, it might affect me being able to actually like practice medicine. So I kind of was like, between what we had talked about at the time, I kind of was like, maybe this might not be good in the long term. So unfortunately, yes, I made the decision to stop drinking, and unfortunately, it's been a very boring 16 years.
Well, look, but understand
that's
that.
not a sales pitch.
Like whether you can control your addictions or not, or whatever the deal is. I mean, maybe you have certain things in your life where you're like, every once in a while, under this right situation, right circumstances, I'll dive in. Well, with cocaine anymore, you don't know what that stuff's cut with. You know what I mean? Where maybe 10 years ago, it would have been, look.
You felt safer 10 years ago.
Yeah, right. You're not going to drop dead. You know what I mean? You might almost kill yourself, but it's not going to be.
Well, no, if you drop dead, it's because you OD'd on cocaine.
Right.
But just cocaine, not what they cut it with. Right?
Exactly. So to me, it's like, look, it's not even an option on the table anymore. Because of you just don't know what's in it.
Right.
So that's one of those drugs where, like, I would just urge people to stay the hell away from it because it is not cocaine anymore. So,
but she pointed out one thing though, and I feel that if you do what Sophia exercised to do, and granted in your early 20s this is hard to do, but even as I get older, I try not to do this one thing because frankly it's your own mental fun police. Look at the long term. Like, sure, I know long term. This is a really bad idea. I understand that. So don't look long term.
Yeah.
Like, I smoke cigarette long term. I get it. I know. But one smoke at a time, I'm like, I'm enjoying this. I understand long term. If you think about anything long term, if you thought about things long term, you wouldn't have children.
No, you wouldn't.
I was like, God damn, you're still in my house.
And that's when I realized blank was not for me anymore. 206-421-ROCK.
I mean, sometimes it doesn't even have to be drastic.
What do you mean?
It could just be something small. Like, say you live alone. You used to order large pizzas. Finally, you said, we got to order mediums because there's a large pizza over the course of however many days. It's all getting eaten.
It's all getting eaten. Yeah. Man, I hate this one. This one drives me crazy because there's nothing I can do about it. It's just a condition of living long enough to have the experience. Just the level of heartburn. So you bring up pizza.
Oh,
it's like,
that's a good call.
Okay, like we can order, and it used to be if we're going to order pizza, let's order 3 of them. We're going to demolish it. Now it's like, all right, well, if we order pizza, can we also get some goddamn cheesy sticks? Because if I eat too much pizza, it's going to hurt. And
as far as a heartburn goes.
That's what I mean. But you have to. I mean, you don't have to.
But it's not life and death.
You can deal with it. It's not life or death, but the amount of pain, laying there all night, and it's stupid. But I'm like, and look, I am not someone who practices good behaviors most of the time. But with that, like, this causes me great distress. I cannot sleep. My chest is on fire, and I hate it. But I'm like, as much as I want to order this, it's just. It's not for me anymore, man.
Look, I love peanut butter. I walk by it all the time. I eyeball peanut butter in the grocery store. I love peanut butter. There was one moment about, 5 or 6 years ago, I had a box of saltines out on the counter. I had my peanut butter.
All right.
And I almost died. You know what I mean? And I thought, oh my God, they're going to find me on the floor with like a peanut butter spoon in my mouth and a saltine in my mouth. And he just choked to death and he died. So I swear to God, I cannot buy that because it really scared me. Like, I could not get it down my throat. And I thought I was going to die. And it's one of my favorite things in the world, but just a big old spoonful.
But to me, man, depending what it is, I feel like things that are life or death, I'm more apt to stick with because you take a few more precautions, right? So you get
I haven't bought it since.
People that climb mountains, rock climbers, people that jump out of planes, they understand I'm going to check my equipment. Doesn't mean you're going to be successful all the time, but I'm going to check my equipment over and over. Dumb stuff like the heartburn, it's just like, I don't like the pain. Stupid things now, like we have the guy in New York City tried to jump over the turnstile, right? Now, those are 39 inches tall. We're assuming he did what most of us would do, which is put at least one hand on the turnstile. I don't think he tried to hurdle it, but one hand, try to swing your legs up, right? There's little things I do with my kid now, because the last time I did them was 20 years ago. You're trying to show him something, and I'm like, this hurts. Like, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm just not.
Like attempting a cartwheel.
My God, can you do a cartwheel? Well, the problem is, you say, of course I can do a cartwheel, because the last time you tried to do a cartwheel, you did a cartwheel. You don't account for the fact that you were like 14 years old. So I'm trying to show my kid how to do a cartwheel. It did not end well. It ended great for them because they thought it was hilarious. And they pointed out, that was not a cartwheel. I said, I know that. But I did not know that I could not do that until I attempted to do it just now.
Oh, the most dangerous friend
you got. That guy with the turnstile, I mean, he had hands on both sides. He just missed.
That's what I mean.
His foot got clipped, but bumped his head the right way.
28 years old.
At 28, I still would have done it. No, and granted, I'm not going to risk my life for bus fare, but at 28, I'm comfortable I could have done that. Obviously, he was too. But if you ask me now, like, dude, let's jump the turnstile, have that moment, I'd be like, No, I'm not going to try to jump that, man. I'm going to hurt myself because I realize physical activity like that now, it is not for me, man.
He tripped on his feet, smacked his head, and broke his neck on the cement floor. Yeah. That's how that got.
That's insanity.
It is.
But he's 60-year-old guy doesn't do that because he goes, it ain't for me. I can't do it.
Well, stick with food, you talk about heartburn, but even with like the next day. Like most of my friends that don't eat spicy food, it's not that we stopped liking spicy food. It's that I stopped liking the intense pain in the backside the next day.
Is there anything that you'll fight through just because you like the food that much?
Like, what's the spiciest thing you eat
Shouldn't a bushel of crabs kill you?
I was going to say probably anything crabs related with like covered in Old Bay.
No, you're right.
That's the one I'll still risk. Like generally, I was saying to the officer, like I get. My parents don't know this, so I pit them against them. They're like, what can we get you for your birthday and Christmas? You don't have to get me anything. All right, you know what? Send me some crab cakes and this and that. But there's definitely always a day in the middle of that Christmas break where I'm like, I ate too much Old Bay and crab dip.
Gonna die.
Yeah, right, exactly. You know how I know it's bad in my house if the Alka-Seltzer or the Pepto comes out.
I made myself a homemade meatball sub yesterday, right? Wife made meatballs and all. It was delicious. And as I'm making it, my wife even said, I just don't want to hear it later. So no problem. It's not that I wasn't in pain. She just did not have to hear it later. I would just get up and whimper in the bathroom. I'm like, oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Our question, and that's when I realized the blank wasn't for me anymore. 206-421-ROCK.
By the way, somebody here, and they're correct. They say the best heartburn relief I've found lately is a tablespoon of baking soda and a glass of water. Best burps ever. So I was unaware of this. Robin brought it up to me a couple of years ago. And basically, this is Alka-Seltzer, right? And I probably put a little more than a tablespoon in there. It just, by the way, if you do it, it does work. All right. It is almost instant relief. You get a big burp. And when you burp, like, all the pain kind of goes away with it. And you can almost feel the heat in the burp. So about a year ago, I don't remember what I ate, but I wake up like 3:30 in the morning. I mean, I am sweating. I am in pain. It is that kind of heartburn. So I decide not to turn any lights on in the house. I can figure this out. And I grab the baking soda. I'm reaching around and I fill a glass of water. I may have underestimated how much baking soda I put in this glass of water. I stirred up and I chugged this thing. You know, like your science fair project when you add vinegar? Okay, so this is essentially what happens. And like, you'll get a burp always, and it's just all the gas releasing. In this case, I put so much baking soda in, it was, as soon as I swallowed, it was almost like a bungee shot, but you're not throwing up. You're not throwing up. It is all of that foam.
It's all bubbles.
But it is rocketing out of my mouth and and you can't stop it. Like, it is insane. I'm just standing over the kitchen sink, just like, stop! Oh my God, man! And like, it's like you're not going to die. You don't feel like anything bad's going to happen. But until it's done, it's not.
Did the heartburn go away?
Everything went away.
All right.
I don't. But when I get up the next morning, my wife's like, "What was in the sink last night?" I'm like, "What?" Because I kind of forgot. I'm like, "What did it look like?" She's like, "It's just like chalky everywhere." I'm like, "Oh yeah, babe. Listen, man, I overdid it on the baking soda, and I mean, I am spraying like a fountain, just suds shooting out of my mouth." Yeah, just be careful with that. That's all.
And that's when I realized the blank wasn't for me anymore. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Joseph. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello, guys. Hola.
Hola.
Thursday, Monday?
What's that?
Thursday, Monday?
Yeah. Thursday, Monday. Thursday, Monday? Thursday, Monday. What?
Thursday, Monday.
Well, it's Tuesday, and it's always Thursday. Any day of the week.
I know. What was it good for me was the military.
What branch were you in?
The Army.
And how long were you in?
4 years.
How long did it take you to realize that it is not for you?
My first tour in Afghanistan.
Okay, well, that'll do it.
How long were you over there?
I was over there for a year and a half.
The first time around?
Yeah.
And then did you go back?
No.
So what is this process like? You go through boot camp, and from the time that you get out of boot camp until you go to Afghanistan, how long is that?
Well, I got out of boot camp, and I went to Korea first, and then I came back stateside. And from Washington, I went to Afghanistan.
And now, I assume they tell you where you're going, or they do not?
No, you get the paperwork like a week before you leave.
What was the hardest part of the experience for you? I mean, obviously does not sound good. I'm just saying, like, what was the thing where you're like, I can't do this?
Well, when I was in Afghanistan, we was in a 6 Humvee convoy, and people had the 50 cals mounted on the Humvees, and I had the Mark 19 grenade launcher, and I was like the second one in the convoy, and everybody's shooting in the windows. They just said start shooting in the windows, and I wasn't shooting because I was like, I don't see anybody, and they just said start shooting through the windows, and they asked me, they said, Specialist Pitt, why you ain't shooting? I was like, I don't see anybody, and they said just start shooting in the windows. I'm like, I don't know who's up there. Like, I mean, you know, there could be families and children in there. I'm not doing that.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that's going to be problematic in the military, for
Absolutely,
sure.
especially when they're saying shoot into the windows.
How long is from the time you board, all right? So you boarded a plane in Washington, right?
Yeah.
And then you go to Afghanistan. Now, is there a not layover, but for lack of a better term, a layover anywhere, or is it a straight shot?
It's pretty much a straight shot. You take a MAX flight.
Does that mean you're on like an airliner, or are you on a military plane?
Like a military airline, kind of.
All right, okay. I just wondered if it was just like, you know, like you see like you're in a hangar basically, and you just like walk onto the backside of a plane that has a ramp, and you just sit someplace.
That's what I always picture.
You know?
I've always heard, and I don't know, but for my father, for a lot of the vets that we talked to on the show, just said, man, on those particular flights that just take forever, you're not talking, nobody's doing anything, and it could be like a 19-hour flight. I can't imagine just sitting there for 19 hours doing nothing. Well, my father, now, he did not join the Navy because he is a very patriotic person. It was you can go to prison or you can join the military. So he joined the Navy. So that's why he's in the Navy. But his assignment was to fly from Newfoundland, Canada, down to the Bermuda Triangle, then fly back. But it's just one shot. Not like you landed anywhere. It's like it was a 13-hour day, 6 days a week. And the idea was to see if you disappeared into the Bermuda Triangle. And he's like, so you don't really want to say this to your COs, but it's like, we hope to fail every mission because they're trying to figure out what's going on with the Bermuda Triangle. And should you disappear in the Bermuda Triangle, if they can maintain communication? And of course, my father being my father, he doesn't say this out loud, but he's like, in my head, like, you haven't yet. And it's not like, but he said the point was this, and he's a very logical person. He goes, look, if you have not maintained communication with anything that you've lost there, to even get an idea of what might be going on, it's like, then you need to upgrade the equipment. It's like, you're not upgrading it. You're giving us the other things that have failed 40 times before this. So if I have the stuff that fails when something goes wrong in the Bermuda Triangle, like, I don't want to be on this flight, man. But he's like, every day, 13 hours, and he's like, you're basically dead silent. Even the pilots. Yeah. Because it's like, it seems exciting.
It sounds like hell.
But even the pilots
it's
are
brutal.
Like, it's boring. And it's not like we're in combat, man. We're literally just flying down the coast of North America, circling through the Bermuda Triangle to see if we die or disappear or crash. Luckily, they failed every mission. They said the only hope we had was that something mechanical would go wrong over Bermuda and we get to parachute the hell out because it would take them weeks to pick them up. He said that was our goal. Like to have a mechanical issue.
Oh, to land in Bermuda.
Well, he said there's something wrong with the plane. He's like, I didn't care if the plane landed. We got a parachute. Like, let me. He said, honestly.
Get me out of here.
But he said I think he said there was a crew of 7 or something. But he's like, yeah, all of it. Even the pilots are like, I'm ready to ditch this mother. You know what I mean? Just like, if we got to do this goddamn thing again, but for 2 years, just fly down, fly back. And he said at that time, because no one really knew what was going on in the Bermuda Triangle, it was like, you're essing your pants.
Every day.
Yeah, every day. And the pilot would say, hey, man, we're entering, whatever your latitude and all this crap is. And it's like, it just got real silent.
I would want to be put on like Bigfoot assignment. Or quicksand. You know what I mean? One of those other things. It's kind of like in the Bermuda Triangle.
Quicksand.
You know what I'm saying? It shows up. Our question, and that's when I realized blank wasn't for me anymore. 206-421-ROCK.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.